my Flagstaff home. I'm here today because I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on my tomatoes that are growing in the Arrow garden inside my house. I did a video about starting those. I think I called that video, was that Dreams of Green? I don't know. Anyway, I start my tomatoes indoors at the end of February. I start them in this hydroponic garden, an Arrow garden, and then when they get to a certain height, I transplant them into pots. I let them sit in pots in a sunny window for about a month. And then at the beginning of May, I put them out in my garden in these things called walls of water. Where I live in Flagstaff, we have a very short growing season. We have a 50% chance of frost up through the middle of June, and then again in the middle of September. So we have 103 days to garden outdoors. And so we got to get things going inside. And so when I get things out in my garden in May, it's still going down below freezing at night. So walls of water, I'll show you more about those in a future video, but they basically fill these cylinders with water and you put it around the tomato that you've planted. The sun shines on it, the water absorbs the heat from the sun, which then warms the ground and protects the little plant. So I do that in May. But anyway, my tomatoes are growing like crazy. What's the date today? Today is March 22nd, and I planted these things in the Arrow garden on February 28th. Now, most of them I did on that date. There were about 6 of them that I planted later than that. So I'm going to show you in a second. You'll see that some of them are small, and those are the ones that I planted later. I had just ordered some packs of seeds and misplaced them and then found them, and so I got them started later. So very soon, probably next week, I'm going to take the larger ones and transplant them into pots and then let the smaller ones continue to grow in the Arrow garden for a little bit before I transplant those. But let me go ahead and I'm going to show you that, but I'm also going to give you a peek outside in my, I don't know, can you hear that? Spring here is cold and windy. And we are having one doozy of a windy day. I think we're having wind of like 45 mile an hour winds, I think. Crazy, so I'll show you that too. And then you'll see why I get so excited about getting my garden started, because you know, all I'm thinking about is summer and when's it gonna get here and when's this awful wind gonna stop. So anyway, let me stop talking and just show you what I have in my Arrow garden. Well, here's my Arrow garden, and I raised the hood, the light thing here, so you can see them. My plants, as you can see, are doing really well. Look at this. I mean, they've grown like 6 inches high. I have a few of them that are tiny. There and here. Those are the ones that I got in late. Well, some of them I started and they just didn't sprout, and that happens sometimes. So I just had to start a new seed in there. I have a ton of different kinds of tomato plants in here. San Marzanos, Brandywines, I think they're called golden pear, tomato berry, white tomatoes, Aunt Ruby's, Burbanks, Purdon, I think it's called, and another called, I think it's Flame, or spelled F-L-A-M-M-E. Just a ton of them, a ton of different kinds. And I always grow one more of each kind than what I want, because just in case one dies, or when I'm transplanting, I accidentally snap a stem, I want to have more of those. So anyway, yeah, these are coming along really great, and I think these larger ones I'm going to be able to put in pots next week. Now let me take you out into the backyard so you can see how windy it is today. Still have the patio furniture covered. That's partially because we could still get snow. In Flagstaff we can get, I think our average last snow is in May, believe it or not. It's not. It's never usually very heavy, and it melts right away when it's that late in the season. But also later in the spring, we're going to get a lot of sap coming down, and so those covers kind of protect the furniture from that. But we are getting quite windy today.
Well, even though the wind is obnoxious sometimes, it's a sign to me that summer's coming because we have to go through this windy period before we get to our beautiful summer. So anyway, it just makes me happy to know that my tomato plants are growing really well inside.
I'm really excited to show you kind of how things go as we move along. I will show you the next step of transplanting and how my tomato plants will take over this room upstairs, and then also when they get transplanted into the garden. So I hope you'll come along with me for that. Hope you guys are doing great, and if you have any things that you're getting out into your garden or any preparations you're making for your vegetable gardening, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching my Flagstaff home. If you're not currently subscribed, hit that button and YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos. We'll see you again on my Flagstaff home. Bye-bye.